Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. With the holiday season in full swing, you've probably seen them everywhere, sparkling, decorated, and standing tall in living rooms and town squares. I'm talking, of course, about Christmas trees. But have you ever stopped to wonder why we do this? Why do we bring an evergreen tree into our homes and cover it with lights and ornaments? It's a tradition so ingrained in our culture, yet its origins are a fascinating story that spans centuries and continents. Today, we're going to unwrap the history of the Christmas tree and discover why this simple evergreen became one of the most beloved symbols of Christmas. So grab a cup of hot cocoa, get cozy, and let's dive into the rich history and deep meaning behind this festive tradition. The story of the Christmas tree begins long before Christianity. In ancient cultures across the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, was a time of both fear and celebration. People dreaded the long, dark winter, but they also celebrated the fact that the sun would begin its slow journey back, promising the return of light and life. Evergreens, which stayed green all year round, were powerful symbols of life's endurance in the face of winter's grip. Ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Celts all used evergreen boughs to decorate their homes during the solstice, believing these plants had special powers to ward off evil spirits and illness and to herald the coming of spring. The Romans, for example, decorated their homes with evergreen branches during Saturnalia, a festival honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture. So the idea of bringing greenery indoors during winter isn't new. It's a deeply human response to the changing seasons, a way of holding on to hope during the darkest time of the year. So how did this pagan tradition evolve into a Christian one? The transition is a bit murky, with several legends pointing to Germany as the birthplace of the modern Christmas tree. One of the most popular stories credits Martin Luther, the 16th century Protestant reformer, with the idea of putting lights on the tree. The legend goes that one winter evening, while walking home, Luther was captivated by the sight of stars twinkling through the branches of an evergreen forest. It was so beautiful that he wanted to recreate the scene for his family. He brought a small fir tree into his home and decorated its branches with lighted candles, explaining that it represented the starry heavens from which Christ came on Christmas night. While this story is likely more legend than fact, it beautifully captures the symbolic shift. The evergreen, once a symbol of earthly life, was now being reinterpreted to represent the divine light of Christ entering the world. By the 17th century, the tradition of decorating a tree for Christmas was firmly established in Germany. German families, both wealthy and modest, would set up a Tannenbaum, or fir tree, and decorate it with whatever they had on hand. Early decorations were often edible, like apples, nuts, and gingerbread cookies. Apples were particularly significant, representing the forbidden fruit from the story of Adam and Eve. This tied the Christmas tree to another medieval tradition, the Paradise Play. These plays, performed on Christmas Eve, reenacted biblical stories for a largely illiterate population. The main prop for the story of creation was a fir tree hung with apples, called the Paradise Tree. Over time, the Paradise Tree and the candlelit tree of the Luther legend merged, creating the foundation for the Christmas tree we know and love today. But how did this German custom spread across the globe? We have royalty to thank for that. The tradition was popularized in England in the mid-19th century by Queen Victoria and her German husband, Prince Albert. In 1848, the Illustrated London News published a drawing of the royal family gathered around their decorated Christmas tree at Windsor Castle. Because Queen Victoria was a major trendsetter, what the royals did, everyone else wanted to do. Soon, a decorated evergreen tree became a must-have Christmas accessory in wealthy English and American homes. Immigrants from Germany had already brought the custom to America in the 18th and 19th centuries, but it was Victoria's influence that truly cemented it as a mainstream tradition. Suddenly, Christmas trees weren't just a quaint German custom. They were a symbol of a fashionable, family-centered Christmas celebration. From there, the tradition exploded. As the 19th century progressed into the 20th, Christmas trees became more and more elaborate. Thomas Edison's associate, Edward Johnson, created the first string of electric Christmas lights in 1882, making the trees safer and even more dazzling. Before that, people used real candles, which, as you can imagine, were a huge fire hazard. The commercialization of Christmas in the 20th century brought mass-produced ornaments, tinsel, and artificial trees, making the tradition accessible to everyone. Each family began to develop its own unique decorating style, with ornaments often holding special personal meaning, souvenirs from a trip, a baby's first Christmas, or handmade crafts from school. The tree became a living scrapbook of a family's history and memories, a focal point for gathering and celebration. So, beyond the history, what does the Christmas tree symbolize today? On one level, it's still that ancient symbol of life and rebirth. In the dead of winter, its evergreen branches remind us that life persists and that spring will come again. For Christians, it holds even deeper meaning. The triangular shape of the fir tree is often seen as a symbol of the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. The lights represent Christ as the light of the world, and the star or angel placed at the very top symbolizes the Star of Bethlehem that guided the wise men or the angels who announced Jesus' birth. Each ornament, each strand of tinsel, adds to a story that's both deeply personal and universally understood. It's a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in the darkness. It's a symbol of family, a gathering place for creating and sharing memories. And it's a symbol of generosity, standing watch over the gifts we share with our loved ones. Whether your tree is real or artificial, minimalist or covered in a riot of color, it connects you to a tradition that has been evolving for thousands of years. It's a beautiful reminder that even in the coldest, darkest times, there is always light, life, and the promise of renewal. The simple act of bringing a tree into our homes is an act of hope, a celebration of light's triumph over darkness. It connects our modern celebrations to ancient rituals, royal traditions, and heartfelt expressions of faith. So the next time you look at a Christmas tree, all lit up and shining bright, take a moment to appreciate its incredible journey. From a pagan symbol of endurance to a Christian emblem of divine light, and finally to a universal icon of holiday cheer, the Christmas tree is so much more than just a decoration. It's a story of hope, faith, and family, all wrapped up in glittering branches. What a beautiful, powerful symbol to have at the heart of our holiday celebrations. Thank you so much for joining me on this festive journey through history. I hope this gives you a new appreciation for this wonderful tradition. What are some of your favorite family traditions when it comes to decorating the tree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories behind our favorite traditions. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and see you in the next video.